Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, Mega Crashers here to bring to you an epic team building / rate my team video, and this is going to be an underused team. As you can tell right now, yes, I have the team fully built, but I'm going to be explaining each of these Pokemon's roles and why I chose them to begin with, and how well they work together with each other. Now, this team is going to be built around Tornadus Incarnate, which I have absolutely no idea why that people are not taking advantage of being able to use Tornadus and underused. This thing is a powerhouse. This really is. And let me just go ahead and highlight this for you real quick. Let me just go ahead for you real quick. Tornadus is in BL2, so that means it's just barely in underused. That's a bit of a slap in the face, wouldn't you say? I mean, yeah, sure, it's mono flying typing, doesn't exactly give the best reasons to use it, but this thing has access to Prankster. This thing has access to so many moves to abuse Prankster. This thing has access to just raw power. This thing just, it's really good, and I have absolutely no idea why people are not wanting to use this a little bit more often than not. But anyways, lo and behold, here we go. Team member number 1 is going to be Tornadus. So I decided to go for a very unique set, and this is going to be a mono attacking set, and what this is, it's going to be a bulk up Resto Chesto set. Now, how this goes, obviously the item for choice is going to be a Chesto Berry, and what this does is it allows for you to awaken from sleep the moment that you get put to sleep, and this goes very well with rest, which I will actually get into in a moment. The ability is going to be Prankster, because 3 out of 4 of these moves are non-attacking moves, which means that it's going to get a +1 priority boost thanks to Prankster, right? So that's actually really good. The first move that we'll be going for is going to be Bulk Up, and what Bulk Up does is it boosts the attack and defense stat by 1 stage. Now after a couple of Bulk Up boosts, you're already going to be at a pretty respectable power. Like, that's unbelievably awesome. The next move is going to be Rest, and this puts you to sleep for 2 turns, thus restoring your HP and status. And this is where Chesto Berry kicks in, because that kicks in, it wakes you right up and you're ready to kick ass and take names. And then, once your Chesto Berry is gone, you have no held item. Which is why... Move number 3 is going to be absolutely murderous. This is Acrobatics. It's base 55 power, but it doubles in power if you don't have a held item. And what's even better is after a couple bulk up boosts, oh my god. This move is going to be insanely powerful. And then lastly, I decided to go for something like Sleep Talk, because, you know, once your Chesto Berry is gone, you're not going to be able to awaken immediately, so why not take advantage of Sleep Talk? Not to mention, it's also Prankster boosted, which means that you could potentially get a Prankster Sleep Talk to select Acrobatics and get the outspeed and possibly destroy your opponents. You know, that's actually that's actually really good. That's so good. Oh man. And then the EV spread is going to be a careful nature to allow you to have max special defense. I put 248 EVs into its HP, 252 into its special defense, and 8 into speed. Now the reason for the 8 speed EVs is you notice that its speed number is 260. This thing is going to be able to just barely outpace neutral nature base 80 speed Pokemon with maximum investment, because their speed at maximum investment is 259. This is 260. It's 1 point higher, which means you're always going to be able to get the outspeed, which is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. This thing is meant to be somewhat of a special tank, in the regards that it can take hits on the special side comfortably while setting up, and then proceeding to try and sweep your team. Now actually, I should let you guys know this. I had attempted to do a Tornadus sweep, and it looked like I was actually going to be able to do so because I was facing off against a Tentacruel who had Ice Beam, and it didn't really do that much to Tornadus. Problem was, though, the fucker froze me, thus ending Tornadus' sweet supreme reign of terror in that battle, which kind of sucked, but I knew that deep down Tornadus could have done it, had the fucker not been frozen. But anyways, this thing is not to be underestimated. This thing is not to be messed with unless you want to get destroyed. So now, that concludes team member number 1. How about we go now to Heracross? And Heracross, oh man. This thing with the Choice Scarf and Moxie, oh man, this is what I love to call an epitome of a solid late game cleaner. So we got Choice Scarf to lock you into one move, but boost your speed stat by 50%. And then the ability Moxie. For every time you knock out an opponent's Pokemon, your attack stat gets boosted up by 1 stage. I think you know where I'm going with this, right? I think you know. So the first move that we got is going to be Close Combat. Now, Close Combat drops your defense and special defense by 1 stage, but my god does it ever hit hard. Base 120 power with Stab. Wow. It's gonna hurt. And you wanna know something else that's gonna hurt? It's secondary Stab being Mega Horn. Base 120 bug type move with 85% accuracy. It doesn't have any additional effects. It just hurts like hell when you get nailed by a Mega Horn. Up next, we're gonna go for something like Earthquake, because Earthquake will destroy fire and rock and electric type Pokemon, as well as steel type Pokemon, although Close Combat does just as good of a job destroying steel type Pokemon as well. The thing of it is that Earthquake just provides really good coverage. Now you can also go for something like Stone Edge if you want to knock those flying type Pokemon out of the sky, right? But because this is underused, you don't have to deal with Talonflame, which is, oh man, that thing is like the bane of many bug, grass, fighting type existence. It's unbelievable. And then lastly, we're gonna go for something like Knockoff, because Knockoff is a really good move to have on this thing, which takes care and cripples Psychic and Dark type Pokemon. And you think that, you know, Pokemon like Bronzong would be able to switch in and take in those hits. Well, that may be, until you forget about the fact this thing gets Knockoff. And thanks to the Steel type nerf this generation, it's now going to be a super effective hit on Bronzong. And I should also mention that Earthquake takes care of Dragalge, which is part Poison type. And this thing in underuse, as a matter of fact, in any tier, Dragalge is a damn threat. So, Earthquake, yeah, I would say so. Earthquake is a must on this thing. And then the EV spread's going to go like this. We're going to go balls to the walls. It's going to be Jolly Nature. It's going to be max attack, max speed, 4 special defense. And with the Scarf boosting your speed, you're almost hitting 450, which is really good. And after a couple of Moxie boosts, you're going to be hitting almost 700 attacks. So that's actually very good. And factor in this fact that if you especially use one of your stab moves, that's going to hurt even more. So anyways, that's team member number 2. How about we go into our mega of this team? Team number 3, Blastoise! Oh, yes! Oh man, I love Mega Blastoise. So, obviously the item we're going to be using is going to be its Blastoisinite, which is its Mega Stone to allow it to achieve Mega Evolution. And we're going to go for Rain Dish as its ability, so that way, for example, if you switch in on a Rain user, and what happens, let me just highlight this real quick. If Rain Dance is active, the Pokemon heals 1/16 of its maximum health each turn. So say if you were to switch in on Mega first, and Rainfall was in effect, you'd be able to get some free health back. You know, if you were to lose any prior. You know, through Stealth Rock switch-ins, Spike switch-ins, or just taking prior damage from tanking up hits beforehand. Rain Dish is good. Then you Mega Evolve, and oh man, you get Mega Launcher! Now, Mega Launcher does not benefit any of these 4 moves here, but man, Mega Blastoise is still a really solid Pokemon. It really is. So, the first move that we got is going to be Rapid Spin, and Rapid Spin is pretty obvious. It destroys and spins away any entry hazards that would litter your side of the field. You know, things like Spikes, things like Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, Toxic Spikes, all that stuff. It also spins away Leech Seed too, which is pretty damn cool. The next move is going to be Scald. Scald, base 80 power with a 30% chance to burn. That's pretty damn cool. The next move we'll be using, I decided to go for Roar because I need to have some way to phase out any Pokemon that try to set up on me and try to get either a mid or a late game sweep. It's like, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna roar your ass out. Plain and simple. And then lastly, I decided to go for something like Toxic, because I want to be able to cripple those really damn frustrating walls that either give this team a hard time, try to set up on me, or if they're constantly trying to heal themselves up as well as heal up the rest of the team. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, but we should have something. We should have a move that benefits from Mega Launcher. If you want to substitute out either Roar or Toxic for, say, Dark Pulse or something, let's say we substitute out, you know, Toxic, and we'll go for Dark Pulse because, you know, we're aiming to spread burns and not poison stats throughout the battle. You can do something like that. You can go for something like Dark Pulse and still have the ability to, well, not only hit Ghost-type Pokemon for super effective damage, factor in the fact that this thing gets a Mega Launcher boost, because of the fact that Ghost-type Pokemon block Rapid Spin, which is a normal-type move, right? So, you know, you'll have some sort of way to deal with Ghost-type Pokemon that would otherwise wall you out completely. Really wouldn't take that much damage from Skull. Like, if your Pokemon like Kofagrigus, if your Pokemon like Dusclops, Jellicent, things like that. Yeah, so you can either substitute out Roar for Dark Pulse or Toxic for Dark Pulse, but you need to have one of those two moves in order for you to have some sort of way to either phase out setup sweepers or to put them on a timer, so that way you won't have to worry about being swept entirely. Now the EV spread's going to be like this. So it's a bold nature to allow for you to have maximum defense. We're going to have 248 EVs into your HP, 252 into defense, and 8 into special defense, just to give you a little bit of extra bulk. Not really much to say. This is the physical tank / wall of this team, and the thing is a very solid tank. I love Mega Blastoise. It's an underrated Pokemon in my opinion. So, team member number 4 is going to be our Cleric, Blissey. Now, Blissey has leftovers to allow you to have passive recovery at the end of each turn, right? And we're going to go for the ability Natural Cure. That way, whenever you switch out, your status condition's completely gone. You don't have to worry about being toxic or burn stalled or anything like that. And hell, even if you're frozen, whoop, just switch out, and that freezing's gone. It's all gone, man. So the first move I got is going to be Wish. And Wish is a pretty solid move because it's a 2-turn healing move. The first turn you set out the Wish, and then the next turn you can either switch out and heal up a Pokemon, you know, Wish Pass. And considering, let me just go here real quick. Considering how big its HP stat is, you're going to be Wish Passing a ton of HP. So this is really good, and this is what makes Blissey one of the best clerics in the game ever. Like, ever. You know? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Wish also goes good in tandem with Protect. And you can use Protect on the second turn in order for you to get self-healing Wish. And this is also a great way to not only protect yourself from attacks, but also see and scout what your opponents are going to do, right? Up next, we're going to go for Heal Bell, because Heal Bell is a great way to rid your team of any status afflictions. Yeah. That right there is solid. This is just what makes Blissey that much more better. Now, of course, you know, I'm going to have some people say, well, you need to have a Fairy-type Pokemon on your team, right? You need to have, you know, why not have something like Florges, which is completely immune to Dragon-type moves, and just, yeah. Well, here's the reason. The reason is because of the fact that Blissey Wish passes so much more HP. And the thing just, it's so much more bulkier than Florges, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, Florges has that fairy typing, which is 100 times better than normal type. But the thing of it is it has, in comparison to Blissey, a really bad HP stat. And its ability does absolutely nothing for it competitively. So I decided to go for Blissey in this situation, because I feel that it would provide a much bigger supportive role for my team. And then lastly, we're going to go for Seismic Toss as a way to deal fixed damage to your opponents. It deals 100 base damage because of the fact that it's at level 100. So it's going to deal 100 damage HP-wise. And then the EV spread, real simple. It's going to be a bold nature with 248 EVs into its HP, 252 into its physical defense, and 8 into special defense. Really straightforward. And we're doing the absolute best we can to patch up that really bad physical defense. Now, you can go for something like Counter if you feel like that there's going to be a really solid physical hit coming. Like, you can opt out Seismic Toss for, say, counter or something like that. But, you know, if you want to be able to do a fixed amount of damage and slowly break down Pokemon that you know you can tank hits and all that stuff, well, Seismic Toss would be the better option. But it's really up to you. My preference is Seismic Toss because, just, yeah, Seismic Toss is that much better in my opinion. Time for member number 5, one of my absolute favorite Pokemon ever, Hydreigon. This is also another Pokemon that I love taking advantage of the fact that it's an underused because it's so damn powerful. I have absolutely no idea why this thing is even still an underused. I think it's an insult to Hydreigon that it's in such a low tier in comparison to what it could actually be in, like, tiers in, because of the fact that in OU, you pair this thing up with Mega Metagross, they become a 2-mon wrecking crew. Like, those two Pokemon in combination with each other just absolutely obliterate the OU format, in my opinion. It's just, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing how well this thing does. So anyways, the item for choice is going to be Life Orb. That way, at the cost of 10% of your health, boosts the power of your moves by 30%. This is good. This is very good. The ability is going to be Levitate, which is also really good because it gives you free immunity to ground-type attacks. That's pretty awesome. And the first move is going to be Draco Meteor. Base 130 special Dragon-type move. Let's go! Woo! It does drop your special attack stat by 2 stages, but my god. The raw, unmitigated power. Factor in Life Orb boosting it. Holy shit, dude. It's amazing. You want to know something else that's amazing? It's its next move, Super Power. I love using Mixed Hydreigon because no one really expects it. Super Power are for really bulky Steel and normal type Pokemon, you know, Pokemon like Blissey that would otherwise wall your other 3 attacks for days. Super Power with Life Orb boosting it is going to do a shit ton of damage. It's also going to do a shit ton of damage to Umbreon too, considering that it's weak to fighting type moves. And Umbreon is also somewhat of a decent cleric. But in comparison to Blissey, maybe not so much. But that's just me. That's just me talking. So up next, we got Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse, really good secondary stab move. Base 80 power, 20% chance to flinch. Wow. This thing is actually really, really solid. You want to know something else that's solid? Is going to be its last move, Fire Blast. Fire Blast, base 110 power, base 85% accuracy with a 10% chance to burn the target. Now, I do understand that Pokemon like Ferrothorn and Scizor obviously aren't going to be seen underused, which would be the main reason to run Fire Blast, but you would see a lot of those in OU. So if you want to opt out and go for something like, let's see here, maybe like Earth Power, in order to be able to destroy Nidoqueen and Nidoking, as well as Dragalge. Well, Draco Meteor actually takes care of Dragalge, but Earth Power has a great way of providing you with even better coverage. And it also takes care of Electric and Fire-type Pokemon, too. So you can go for something like Earth Power if you want. Earth Power would probably be the better option, but Fire Blast, as shown in my last video, proven to be good against the opponent's Chestnut, in which I did get a crit, but at the end of the battle, it's like, well, honestly, dude, I had 4 Pokemon versus your 1, and if Fire Blast didn't take you out, it would have heavily damaged you, in which Heracross would have came in and, you know, cleaned you up. It would have been over like that. But anyways, you know, it's your preference. You want to go for something like Fire Blast to take out bulky Grass-type Pokemon? You want to go for Earth Power to take out any bulky Steel, Fire, Electric-type Pokemon? You know, it's really up to you. And then the EV spread's going to be like this. We're going to go for a Hasty Nature to allow for you to not have any of your offensive stats compromised, while your physical defense is going to be compromised a little bit, but even still, you got pretty solid bulk. You really do. So it's going to be 4 EVs into attack, 252 into special attack, 252 into speed, and if you want to have more power, then you could go for something like, you know, a Mild or a Rash Nature. We can go for Mild Nature. Look at that. That is a lot of power on your special attack end. However, it does leave for you to be possibly speed tied with jolly nature Pokemon that have base 85 speed like Heracross. And if Heracross was to outspeed you, it'd be over. It'd be over. So, you know, choose your natures at your own risk. If you want more power, you can go for a mild or a rash nature. But me personally, me being a guy that's about speed, I like the hasty nature because it allows for me to have a little bit of extra speed and get a little bit of an extra percentage to have crucial outspeeds. So, the last member of the team is going to be Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen, my god, Nidoqueen is so awesome. And just for a long list of reasons. This thing has really respectable bulk. The thing can take hits, it can set up entry hazards on you, and it can dish out a shit ton of pain. Let me show you how. So the item for choice is going to be Life Orb, and at the cost of 10% of your health, that boosts the power of your moves by 30%. But wait a second, Sheer Force. Oh man, I gotta say that this is probably one of the most busted combinations ever, Sheer Force and Life Orb. Because what happens is Sheer Force boosts the power of moves with a secondary effect, and it takes away those secondary effects. And for whatever reason, it takes away the negative effect of Life Orb. So you're not losing HP, but you're still getting that 30% power boost from Life Orb, while getting a 30% power boost from Sheer Force if you use a move with a secondary effect. Now, mind you, if you were to use a move that does not have a secondary effect, then Life Orb recoil will happen. But if you were to use a move with a secondary effect, Sheer Force kicks in, and you don't have to worry about Life Orb recoil. Just that simple. So anyways, the first move we got is going to be Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks hurts the opponents upon switching in, and it damages them according to their type. If you're weak to Stealth Rocks, it's going to do a buttload of damage. If you're resistant to Stealth Rocks, well, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. The next move we got is going to be Earth Power. Earth Power, base 90 special attack move with a 10% chance to lower your opponent's special defense by 1 stage. And Sheer Force takes away that secondary effect but boosts it by 30%. At least that's what it says according to Pokemon Showdown. I thought it was like 33.3%. Well, anyways, point is, it's a very important boost. And Life Orb boosting it too, you're dealing with an over 60% chance, or 60% power increase, which is just absurd. It is absurdly powerful. Up next, we're going to go for Sludge Wave, because Sludge Wave, base 95, poison type move, punishes fairy type Pokemon. Yeah, sure, you know, Gorgeous being a premium special wall, at least as far as fairy goes, is not going to be able to stomach hits constantly from Nidoqueen, with Sludge Wave being boosted by Sheer Force, being boosted by Life Orb, being boosted by Stab. My god, it's over. And then lastly, we're going to go for Thunderbolt, which is an electric type move with a base 90 power, 10% chance to paralyze your opponents. Now the reason I have Thunderbolt on here is for any bulky water type Pokemon that try to switch in and try to set up on me. You know, you got your Suicunes, you also have rival Blastoise and Mega Blastoise, and Thunderbolt's going to do a lot of damage. Regardless of the EV spread they have, it's still going to do a lot of damage. And the EV spread goes like this. We're going to have 180 EVs into its HP, 252 into special attack, and then 76 into its speed with a modest nature. Now, this specific EV spread shows that this has enough speed to outpace any uninvested base 85 speed Pokemon, which is important. And the base 180 HP allows for you to take hits relatively well while being decently okay-ish in terms of speed, but just being ridiculously powerful when it comes to the special attack. The Sheer Force and Life Orb boosting your attacks, my god, man. It's too much. It is too much power! Woo! So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to give me your honest, constructive criticisms on what you think about this team, anything I need to change, anything I might need to substitute in terms of Pokemon, in terms of moves, EV spread, all that stuff. Feel free to let me know. You know, constructive criticism, I always welcome that. So I highly encourage that you guys give me advice if needed when it comes to the construction of this team. And also, be sure to leave a like, because everybody loves team building videos. I know I do. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to Mega Crasher in the community, because we are a community that when tightly knit as one, we shine brighter than the sun, baby. Woo! Thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you guys next upload!